I'm Rosemary, and I am in the big studio here with an incredible group of WYEP members. And we are thrilled to welcome back home. Yes, she's always going to be one of ours, no matter where she travels to in the world, whether it's Rhode Island or somewhere across the globe. Brooke Annibale will always be a Pittsburgh girl, and she'll always be welcome here at WYEP. She's playing the Roots Cellar tonight in a Calliope show. Welcome, Brooke Annibale.
Thank you so much. Hey, I'm so happy to be here back at YEP in Pittsburgh today. I have exciting news today. I am announcing that I'm releasing a new album in September. And that new album is called Bolder Font, and this is the title track from it. Maybe what I want, I don't really want. It seems like I want it in bolder font. I lie to my heart, running in a race that I'll never win. Can't catch my breath, I can't keep it in. I lie to my heart. I would really like to feel like you're wrong. Maybe you're wrong, and I'll prove you wrong. I'm enough as I am. And I would really like to take what you said out of my head, get out of my bed. I won't give a damn. Sweet relief, take this pressure off of me. Sweet relief, I believe this identity was something I needed. Sweet relief, bad dreams, cold sweat. Did you hurry? Did you make it out yet? My head, my heart in two. My self-worth, I heard, all depends on another man's word. I bet you never thought it through. My line, your call. I could blame you, but it wasn't your fault. Could it be my sweet relief? Sweet relief, take this pressure off of me. Sweet relief, I believe this identity was something I needed. Sweet relief. Maybe what I want, I don't really want. It seems like I want it in bolder font. Thank you.
Well, here we are, WYEP with Brooke Annibale, and it's so nice to have you back. You know, whenever you're about to release a new album, it's a little bit like, like giving birth, except for the labor's already done.
Right, yes.
Yeah. So whenever, and you did go through a lot of labor. We had a chance to talk a little bit before this. There's a really big difference between this album and albums that you've done before.
Indeed, yes. I produced this entire album and I mixed this album. So the process I poured more of myself into the process than I ever have before. Typically, I'd write the songs, I'd sort of demo the songs at home, and then I'd meet with a producer and they would make that what seemed like magic happen to me. And now that magic has been sort of like unveiled, and I can get back in there, and now my hands are on like literally every sound on the record, which is so fun and so cool to be able to have done.
And not intimidating at all, right?
Absolutely intimidating, yes.
I would imagine it would, but it gives you a chance to really kind of understand your music on a level that you haven't before, because you're literally listening to every little bit of it. It's like, how does this drum sound? What are my levels here? So technically, are you having a very different approach to like, oh, so this is what my music is?
Yeah, it's interesting. I feel like as I was making the record, I would sort of approach writing in a different way, because I would almost hear the whole thing, like where I wanted it to go before I even finished the song. And so it would help sort of inform like, okay, this is where I want to do this in the writing process. So to set me up for the production process, to set me up for the mixing process, because I know that I'm the contact at every line,
Do you think that this will change your approach to songwriting in the future?
I do, yeah. And I've already started writing some more songs, and like I find myself itching to get back to recording and producing and mixing, even though this process took me so long. I now feel like I have the skills to do it again, and I'm like itching to do it,
And then, of course, when you put an album out, you're taking it out on the road too. And I was just talking to you a little bit about whenever you go out on the road, especially when you have a band, the assumption is, oh, you just get up there and stage and do it. And it's like, no, there's a big process that happens before you get on stage.
Yeah. And the cool thing with this record is that many of the folks that I have played with live played on this record. So my good friend Mark Ramsey, who was originally from Pittsburgh as well, in a band called Cold Weather, he's been playing keys with me for 10 years now, and he's on the record. And a bass player that I met in Boston played on the record. And so they'll play these live shows with me, and it's like they're the ones that brought some of these parts to life. And so that makes it a little bit easier when you're going to rehearse. But we gotta get all the things in line. It's a lot of rehearsing and stuff.
And when you're in a studio and whenever you're mixing and producing, you have control over that. Once you're on stage, anything can happen, right?
True. Yes. Yeah.
So that can be challenging. It can be exciting as well. Now you're living in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, when you change your environment, and that's pretty drastic. I mean, you're right on the ocean. Do you feel like that has any impact on the kind of song you're writing or the way you approach your music?
It might have a little, but I mean, I feel like maybe not the way you'd expect. New England winters are really dark and long. It's dark and long here too, but the sun sets like a half hour earlier there because we're all the way at the edge. But then when summer comes along, it's like this whole, it's like the reward at the end of the tunnel. And so I think maybe I write darker songs in the winter and lighter songs in the summer, and there's definitely a mix of that in this record for sure, but I feel like there's always kind of a mix of light and dark for me.
So this is going to make it more interesting when we hear the record. We're going to be like, okay, I think this is a February song.
Yeah.
This is definitely July. We'll be listening for that sort of thing. Another thing, there goes my pen, but another thing I wanted to ask you about is when you move away from a place that, like Pittsburgh, where, has such a strong identity, how does living somewhere else make you realize how much of a Pittsburgh gal you are?
Yeah, I think I learned a bit of that when I went away to college, because I went to school in Nashville, and you start to learn things like, oh, this isn't normal, or not everybody else does this or feels this way. But yeah, I feel like you feel an extra boost of Pittsburgh pride when you live somewhere else. Like you want to, sport that Penguins jersey on the game day. Or I have a Pittsburgh Penguins license plate holder on my car, so I'm like the only person in Rhode Island that has that. But one day I had parked my car in Providence, Rhode Island, and I came back to my car and there was something in the dash, and I thought, oh no, I got a ticket or something. I picked it up and it was a napkin that someone had written "Let's Go Pens" on, and I was like, yes. I was like, there's someone else in this city that we've made each other's day today.
We are everywhere.
Yep.
Yes. Well, I'll tell you what. I know we're getting some premieres here today because you're doing
Yeah.
some songs from the album. So we're here with Brooke Annibale. You want to jump into a couple more tunes?
Absolutely. So I've been lucky enough to had this song played on WYEP a little bit already. It's another new one called Daily Dose. This song has an interesting initial inspiration. I have 3 dogs, and they're usually really good dogs. And one of my dogs was pretty bad one morning, and then I looked at her and I said, "You're such a good girl." And then I said, "Most of the time." And then that little "most of the time" turned into a melody in my head, and I sat down and I wrote this song. And it continued to be inspired by the dogs, because my other dog relentlessly, every morning when the sun rises, is at the side of my bed with his eyes staring at me, so excited for the day. And I thought, wow, wouldn't it be cool if I could feel that way in the morning? And so he helps me feel that way every day. And he's that little daily reminder, hence the title of this song, Daily Dose. Most of the time I try to hold on. Most of the time I do. The rest of the time I'm falling apart. The rest of the time I'm through. Every morning when I rise, wanna see the new day through your eyes. Everything we said we'd do, I want to do it all with you. If it should come to this, you know I won't run from this. You'll be my daily dose, and everything comes and goes but you. Most of the time I figure it out. Most of the time I'm fine. The rest of the time I'm totally lost. Rest of the time I'm not fine. Every morning when I rise, wanna see the new day through new eyes. Everything I said I'd do,
everything comes and goes with you. You know I won't run from this. I'll be your daily dose when everything comes and goes with you. Oh, everything comes and goes with you.
Thank you so much. It's so nice. So many of you came to see me today. I love it. All right, this song just came out today. Just came out this morning. This morning I had a new song come out, and I announced that I am releasing a new record that will be out in September. And this song is called Make You Mine. This is one of those that was maybe informed by, I was in the middle of making the record, and I was thinking about producing more and more, and I sat down with a drum loop and just said, I'm going to write a song that feels good along to this drum loop, and then it turned into this song, and it's called Make You Mine.
Take the long way through, 'cause I like the scenery. Maybe I could come back soon. Maybe you could go with me. Maybe you could go with me. 'Cause I'm not asking for a lot. I miss every chance I got. I'm asking one more time. Do, can I make you mine? Do, can I make you mine? Wonder what holds me
We are here with Brooke Annibale, and she will be playing the Root Cellar tonight at Calliope concert, so it's nice to have you back in town. I love the idea that, a dog waking you up in the morning can be inspiration for a song. I mean, you just never know where inspiration comes from, but sometimes you have to create the inspiration, like you talked about, the loop, the drum loop, and working with that. Have you done things like that, like little, tricks to I got to try something different. I've got to come up with something.
Yeah, I mean, those two things for sure, but a lot of times it's like I just listen to a song, a new song comes out, I love it, or even an older song. Like I've been listening to, I'll hear Fleetwood Mac and I'll be like, that's the snare that I want, that's the drum sound that I want, Or I hear a new Andy Schauf song and I'm like, oh my God, I have to go write a song, just because there's something that sparks that in me. So if I'm really looking for it, I'll definitely put on some music and see what I am drawn to, whether it's the snare drum or the lyrics. But yeah, it's interesting. I've always been pretty therapeutic in my writing and sentimental in my writing, and that song Daily Dose, it's just sort of like everything that inspires me to want to show up for the day and show up for the people that I love. I wanted to put that in a song, but not make it be like, there's still a hint of that, it's not always easy, And so I'm just lucky when inspiration appears, because I've been writing songs since I was a teenager, and I'm about to be, 39, and so it's been a while, and so I'm always surprised that new songs are still in me,
Do you feel pressure? Do you put pressure on yourself to write?
Sometimes, but I know that when I'm putting pressure on myself, it's not going to be the best song, It's got to be fun, or it's got to be really emotional.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned, sort of being therapeutic in your music. And, anytime that you're writing songs, I mean, you're revealing something of yourself, and certainly people can read into that. But you did something recently that, it was really very revealing for you, and that is that you wrote an essay for Pride Month. And I think doing something like that, even when you're out, it can bring exhilaration, but at the same time, maybe there's a little trepidation. Can you talk about why you wrote that?
Yeah, so I think the one is that Atwood magazine. Yeah, I wrote that actually a couple years ago, and it's nice to be able to write and speak about something that isn't, it's not just the music. You get to speak about yourself, like why you are the way you are, or what it influences you in your life. And that essay was an opportunity to say, what does pride mean to me? And as a kid, I never saw pride and thought, well, that includes me. It's more like representation is what pride is to me. And so that's what I wrote that about. And it was a really cool opportunity to be able to speak about that, and just, because there was so long even in my career where I hid that part of me. And now it's just natural, It's like if I introduce myself to someone, I'm like, yeah, my wife and 3 dogs, we live in Rhode Island. I don't wait to see if they're gonna approve before I say it. I just say it, and if it's not for you, it's not for you. But I am more self-assured in who I am,
Oh, and being an artist, I think, being a musician is to a great degree just being true to yourself if you want to get, good music out there. I want to ask you, since you're going to be doing a concert tonight, a little bit about, do you remember the first concerts that you ever went to as a kid?
First concerts I ever went to as a kid, well, I know that you always remember your first big show, the one that's at I went to the Igloo, the Mellon Arena in the 90s to see Amy Grant. That was my first concert. I bought myself a T-shirt. I spilled chocolate sauce all over it. I'm not sure if that happened the same day but I believe I still have that T-shirt. That was my first big experience. Also, my uncle played music, so I'm sure that before Amy Grant, I was probably at a family show watching, my uncle play the blues or something.
Well, it's also, I think it's curious, we as people in the audience, we know the experience of having a really great experience at a show, but the other side of it is if you're on stage, what makes a really great show for you as you perform? When do you think this is what I'm going to remember?
It's definitely the audience, and that doesn't mean quantity. It means the quality of like interaction. So like if I'm telling a story and you guys are, hearing me and I can see your reactions, or you chuckle along to something that's supposed to be funny, then I just, that's like the connection. That's the good stuff, right? It could be 5 people in a room. It doesn't matter, It's just like if I get that connection with the people, because otherwise you're just, you're making music into the void. Yeah, for sure. It's the audience.
Communication.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we are here with Brooke Annibale. We're looking forward to hearing this album when it hits in September. And we're going to ask you to do another tune for us, please.
Absolutely, yeah. So this one is from the last record that I put out in 2022. And y'all at, Yins at WYEP have been so gracious to play this song several times. And I'm just grateful to be back in my hometown today to share this news, to share these new songs, to play a show at Calliope tonight. I think doors are at 7, shows at 7:30. I'm going to play some new music and some old songs as well. And my friend Morgan Arena is going to be singing background vocals with me. She's the best. So please come out and hang out with us. And I'm going to play you a song called What If You?
I should probably focus on figuring it all out. My mind's a bit of a mess, and all I can feel is doubt. Am I really strong enough to do it all over again? Take me back to where I feel something. What if you love me back? What if you love me back? Hear the final boarding call echo into the night. Empty seat on a plane taking off into the sky. I remember how you looked at me. Maybe I could feel whatever you couldn't say. Carry me out to the pouring rain. What if you love me back?
Thank you.
.3 WYEP, Brooke Annibale, thank you so much, and welcome back home.
Thank you so much, Rosemary.